business, we'll bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
It went the distance in Dallas. Australia won, Egypt won, and Egypt winning the penalty shootout 4-2. The two central defenders for Australia who went in the first four. Harry Suter went over, Lucas Harrington hit the crossbar. The reasons why Australia go out of the competition. It is Egypt through to the last 16 to face the winner of Argentina and Cabo Verde. Welcome into our Golazo Matchday studios alongside Mike Grella and Marcelo Balboa. I'm Chris Wittyngham. And guys, I guess I have to start with Grella. You spent the lion's share of this tournament feuding with the entire nation of Australia. They're now out of the competition. What do you think of it?
Yeah, that got out of control, by the way. I was put in a situation where I had to go either left or right, and right was doubling down, and so I did it. I love football. I love having the pleasure and the honor of covering it. I love watching the World Cup of all things, Champions League as well, and all the other properties we have, but the World Cup in particular. In football and in life and in everything, you can talk. I want to do this. I want to do that. Yeah, our group is this. Our group is that. Yeah, we train like this, and we do. But in the end, the whistle blows. And you go on the scale, and everything you did weighs, and they say what's your worth. And in the end, for Australia, I understand they have an unbelievable spirit. I understand they love to play sport. I understand that they have pride when they talk about their football team, the Socceroos. But in the end, when you step on the scale, you have to show what you've been working on. Where's the players? Where's the quality? Where's the thing?
Yeah.
You don't have it. There's a lot of things I wanted to play in the Premier League. I wanted to play champ, but with my mouth, I never did it. Same with Australia. They wanted to accomplish something in the World Cup, but just with the emotions, with their own head. But in reality, when the whistle blows and the football starts, you have to be good with that, with the football. And they're nowhere near good enough with the football. And at the end of the day, did they fight? Yes. Did they do their country proud? 100%. Should they be proud of the job that they did? For sure. Did they fight to the end? For sure. But in the end, you need to know how to play with the football. And there's levels to it, and they don't have the high level with the football. End the story.
Yeah. No, listen, what are you going to say? Listen, they did a nice job. They got out of the group. I think when you come to a World Cup, the first phase is getting out of that group. They got out of the group. So today they showed that, their limitations. We'll say offensively they weren't great. You look at the quality of players they have. They're developing. You can look at Harrington on a positive. He's an 18-year-old kid who got to play in 2 World Cup games. So that's the future of this group. So, we saw Beach in goal. I think he's the future of this group. So, I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. I'll also look at it and say more than anything, this is a young team. This is a team that has a chance to develop, and they're putting money into their program. But today there was just a few things that threw me off. When you talk about switching a 34-year-old goalkeeper who plays 1 minute, who's not warmed up, who's not done anything, and now you expect him to react quickly at 34 compared to a 22-year-old kid who was in goal, I think there's just a few coaching decisions, I think, that kind of threw me off with Australia this World Cup.
Yeah, and some people are calling them galaxy brain decisions, where you're trying to outthink things. Go back to the U.S. game. 2 guys in the forward line had a great game. They start the U.S. game from the bench after they play well against Turkey. And then this decision to take the goalkeeper off. It's one of those where if he goes and makes 2 saves, it looks brilliant, but he only got close to 1 of them. The other 3 were nowhere near it. It seems like a bizarre decision from Tony Popovich to have taken his goalkeeper off now.
Yeah, Tony Popovich, I hear good things about him. Obviously, speaking to some guys that I played with in Australia that were also part of the national team back in the day that know him in the same, very similar circles. Always hear good things about him. From the outside looking in, from my perspective, I see against the U.S. was a massive game in the group stage where he sat Irankunda and Volpato. He put them both on the bench and didn't play them until the second half. For me, was a mistake. And we had loads of Australians in the studio saying, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Overthought the situation, overthought the game against the U.S. Okay, fine. Then the same thing at the end here. First of all, taking them out, maybe in the 70th minute, maybe he knows more that they're tired or whatever. Volpato and Irankunda, what we said at halftime, probably the 2 best players. Yeah. Pulls them out in the 75th or whatever it may be. And then the goalkeeper change. The goalkeeper, and he didn't sniff. This is obviously the young Beach, who was fantastic in the tournament, but he got subbed out so that Ryan could go in goal, and then he was off the pace, like Marcelo says. He was just coming cold off the bench. I mean, you've been sitting on the bench now for an hour and a half, maybe longer actually, because of the extra time. So
yeah,
I think it's just a crazy decision from the manager, and at the end of the day, who knows if it would have made a difference, but yeah.
Especially reactionary. This play right here, this was the best save of the day. I mean, he's leaning one way, he slaps it over the top of his head to keep him in the game. My problem is, listen, I get the intimidation factor. We've seen it with Holland before, and other teams have done it. But when you're switching a 6'2" goalkeeper for a 6'7", 6'8", that intimidating presence in the goal, I get it. Because now the wingspan, now you walk up to take a penalty kick, you're like, oh my Lord, this dude's huge. I get that part, but they were both the same size. As a matter of fact, I think Beach is an inch taller. So I don't understand. It's like putting in a player. Taking a penalty kick is one thing. But trying to get into a rhythm, it takes you 10, 15 minutes to get into a game. A goalkeeper, what did he do? That's what I don't get. Ryan got a ball, he sat there, he put his gloves, and then he's ready to take a penalty kick. So I think sometimes coaches overthink it. The other problem I have is, listen, I know, we are the most skillful people on that field, our center backs. You know, we are fantastic. And then you put an 18-year-old kid. Let's be honest, an 18-year-old kid, you know he's nervous, and you saw him. That's the way he usually goes, and he usually tucks it into the side corner with Colorado. Here you see him a little nervous. He goes over the top. What happened to Touré? What happened to your midfielders? What happened to the men on that team that should have stood up? I mean, listen, I'm not going to allow an 18-year-old because I'm nervous. I'm going to take a penalty kick. So, you know, I mean, good for him. He stood up. He said, I'll take one. But that's weird that there are other midfielders, forwards, there are other guys on that team that should have taken. I mean, when you take penalty kicks, would you rather have a forward or a defender taking it?
Forward. 100%.
Exactly. Midfielder. And you put two center backs out of the first four. That's another strange decision for me.
And Marcelo, you have been around Lucas Harrington because he is a Colorado Rapids player in Major League Soccer. 18-year-old kid who's been linked this summer with a move to Barcelona, which obviously portends well for his potential as a player. How damaging is this to be the player who misses the final one in the shootout that sees him out of the tournament?
I mean, I look at it positively because an 18-year-old kid stepping up to take a penalty kick, some 18-year-olds would be like, no, I don't want to do it. This kid stood up. He went in there and he took it. He takes him in Colorado, too. So, listen, more credit to him, showing his character, his maturity at 18 years old. I think playing consistently every day with Colorado, you can see the difference in this kid. But at the end of the day, man, I'm happy for him. He played well. He had a good game. It's unfortunate about PKs. PKs are a crapshoot nowadays. So he mishit it. He hit the crossbar. But this kid, if he stays in Colorado, has a good future in MLS for a few more years before he gets sold. Or, you know what, they sell him to Barcelona and he gets loaned out and he has a great career, but the kid's got great potential.
And unfortunately for him, he is the last player that takes for Australia in this penalty shootout. We haven't really talked about it from an Egypt point of view. What did they do well in this game, both in the 120 minutes and in the shootout to win it?
I thought, obviously, they get the goal from a set piece, which is pretty good, and then they score the own goal. Okay, fine. Large parts of the game, they controlled the possession, but I was just surprised that they were not able to create more moments, finish off more chances. The Marmouche chance is the one that's just burned into my memory because in this tournament and in this competition, there's going to be moments in both boxes that are going to define the performance, right? So if you play really well, all that does is afford you more opportunities to go win the game. But if you don't take those opportunities, then you get into a 1-1 penalty shootout with Australia, where I think Egypt have a lot more quality. Marmouche and Salah not having the best game. So just surprised with the moments inside both boxes that they didn't get those right. Scoring an own goal, obviously, and then there was 2 or 3 big misses, not half chances, goals that they missed that could put this game far out of touch earlier on, where they can have more control. Obviously, now they have to play. They played extra time, so that you have to take that into account when moving on to the next round as well. I think they were in a covered stadium today,
yes, yeah, right? They're in Dallas.
So okay, fine, but moving forward, you might not always be in a covered stadium, or you might have played 2 or 3 games already in the heat, and we're obviously in a heat wave at the moment too. So less minutes is better. So I thought they would manage the game better.
Yeah, I would agree 100% with that. I think there were times where I think we were talking, they were disorganized, but they got through those moments. And that's the beauty of playing in this World Cup, is if you can get through those moments where the other team finds that momentum, they got through those moments. And at the end, listen, they were a little bit more offensive minded. I think Mo Salah played his best 15 minutes, 20 minutes in that game was in the overtime period. He was active, he was moving, he was hitting the corner kicks. He was just buzzing around finally. He looked like himself. So, but listen, that's a tough team to play against. They're disciplined. Every single guy tracks back. gets tactically in their position where they have to cover. They're closing spaces down. So, I mean, for me, listen, you never want to go 120 minutes, but they found a way to get through it. Congratulations. I think that's their first win, right, in the knockout phase for them. And, now they've got a real challenge. We'll see who they have next. We'll see. I don't want to say. But I don't want to jinx it.
Argentina.
I'll say it for you. It's Argentina.
I don't want to jinx it. I wore the blue, but I don't want to jinx it. But listen, they got through. That's all that counts. It doesn't matter when you get to the knockout if you play well, if you play poorly. The important thing is how do you win? You got to win that game and you move on.
They haven't reached the round of 16 since 1934. They win a knockout game for the first time in their history, and the man over our shoulder, Mo Salah, is going to be the one who's at the center of the attention. Takes his penalty, takes it very well, goes down the middle with a cheeky little Panenka as well. From a legacy standpoint, this is as good as it gets for a player like this, who obviously has done so much for Liverpool. But for Egypt, those accomplishments almost seem like a little bit more. They seem like they're more significant over the course of the longer term of his career. To get your country to a knockout round is as good as it gets, and to win a game, it has to be incredibly special for him.
Yeah, we heard the announcers, the commentator speaking at the game, that even though he was not having his best game, just because of the fact that he's there, it lifts the group. And it also causes defenders to pay more attention to where he is at all times and what's he going to do. And so it's very important that he's there, and it's unbelievable what he's been able to do. Has he slowed down now in the last maybe 6 months? For sure. Is he the same guy? I don't know, maybe in spurts. He's not the same guy consistently as he was. But if they're going to move forward and progress and maybe even frustrate Argentina, which is going to be difficult, he's going to have an awesome game. He's going to have to play 10 times better than he played today.
But Grella, you kept asking, where is he on the pitch? And he was playing at times through the middle of the field, and he was getting drowned out by those big Australian center backs. It seems like he eventually found his way, and we see based off the heat map, it is that usual area right to the right of the penalty area and getting into those positions.
How sure are we that this heat map is accurate here for SofaScore? Because I saw him, like in midfield positions, not really affecting the game too much. I think Marcelo made a good point that in the last 15 minutes, I think he was hanging out in those areas and creating 1v1 situations where he's going on these dicey runs. But for me, it was just too slow, not enough danger. I think when you think of Mo Salah, you think like you have nightmare before you play him. You think, oh, he's going to spin me, he's going to turn me inside out, he's going to be shooting me. And he kind of just hung out in positions where I think was comfortable for Australian defense.
Maybe conserving energy too towards the end, because he knew maybe he had to take a penalty kick. He didn't want to run. You know what I love about it is how much they love their country. You look at that picture, he's in tears. I mean, that's what this sport's about. This is what it's about, the passion, the winning, and what it means to this country, to that country, and to him, and to this team, and to the coaching staff. You see them over there hugging and crying and in tears. So listen, Mo Salah, as long as he's on the field, this team will always have a chance to win, just because of the fact that I know if I'm playing against him, there's going to be somebody covering him, and I'm coming over to slide. So now you're taking that opportunity to open up a space for somebody else.
And Egypt are into the last 16 of the World Cup. Mo Salah converting his penalty in the shootout. They converted all 4 of their takes. We'll be back with much more on the World Cup on the Golazo Network.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad would want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
This is Golazo Matchday. 48 nations covering this World Cup, and it is Australia who go out of the tournament after making a goalkeeper sub in the 119th minute. Matty Ryan unable to make a single save in the shootout. Egypt get it done 4-2 in the shootout after drawing 1-1 after 120 minutes in Dallas. We'll come back into our studios. Let's take a look at the SofaScore ratings for both of these two teams and the individual player ratings assigned to both sets of players. We'll start first with the Socceroos of Australia, and Jackson Irvine gets the best rating in that midfield, but ultimately the attackers in the game, guys, unable to really make a massive impact. Volpato probably had the best chance of any of those attackers with that save that he forces from the goalkeeper of Egypt.
Yeah, I think this is very close to being accurate. The wheelhouses in the midfield there, where they were able to mount some attacks and defend well and be hard to play against. So, sort of that triangle of Irvine, O'Neal, and Sudar was okay today. I thought they were good on set pieces as well. But yeah, this is a team that didn't create enough in the end. You know, they scored 2 goals in the entire tournament. That was in the first game about 2.5 weeks ago. So. The front three just never really got it going in a way that, you know, put teams under pressure or really made them worry.
I think Volpato started off well. And he's kind of faded into the game, but I think he was a little better than Irakunde. I really didn't see much of him. We thought that he would be more of an influence, especially with someone like Egypt, the way they were playing. But to be honest, I think you're pretty accurate on the outsides. I mean, Harrington, decent. I didn't think it was anything special. So I think Beach had some great saves. So I would say the only one I was really disappointed, and I thought Metcalf faded away from the game, and I thought that Iakunde was the same way.
And those are the player ratings. Obviously, the blank underneath the goalkeeper, Matty Ryan. From that standpoint, from the decisions that he has made throughout this tournament, the head coach, Tony Popovich, is this one where you can say the coaching decisions cost them in a real way? And not to say that if they start the U.S. game with those guys, they would go on to beat the U.S., or if they don't make the goalkeeper change, that Beach makes the saves. But did he put them in the best position to advance in this tournament?
I think he's done things, though, that don't jump off the page behind the scenes, and like some of the stuff that they did, the game against Turkey, you got to give the manager credit as well. But again, you need to have the players, and they have maybe Cercati, Volpato, Iragunda, and a couple other guys in the team, but then the rest is just, that's not enough to go to a World Cup. And again, that's why I started the segment with saying, that's why I love sports so much, is because in a day and age where, not just on social media, but everywhere, there's so many frauds out there and so many fakes out there and so many people that talk big games. When you go to a game of football and the ref blows and it's there, and everything you've worked on is there, you can't hide anymore. There's nothing that you can say anymore. You have to show. The talking is over, and you need the tools. You need the tools defensively in the midfield and the transition. You need all the tools, the emotional factor, the mentality, the fitness levels, like all these things go into it. And that's why we always talk about France and Argentina and the top teams, because they do all these things at a very high level. And albeit, even with the U.S., we all want to be there. We all want to talk about the project, and we all want to be at the top. But once the game starts, that's it. It shows everything. It shows your level right there, and it evens out. And most times, 9 times out of 10, the better team will progress, and the better teams will win, and especially in this format. So I think no matter what the coach did, I don't think they have, in all due respect to the players, I thought they worked really hard. I don't think they have the quality of players to go far in the tournament. One player in their entire team played European football this year, and he played 2 games.
Yeah.
It's not enough. When you look at all these other teams, and just take a U.S., for example, they've got 7, 8 guys playing 60, 70 games in the Champions League this past season. That's the difference. U.S. maybe a few years ago didn't have that. Now we have that. So I think that's an important point, that you need the quality. The players play the game at the end of the day.
But still, did the manager not put them in the right spots, Marcelo?
Listen, you can only blame the manager for so many things. You know, I mean, I look at this. Do they have a good enough team? Yeah, they got to the World Cup. And getting to World Cup sometimes is harder to qualify than it is when you actually get here. So to give them the credit that they deserve to be, or they have the players to get here, is one thing. Now, when you get here, do you have the players to compete and to try to win this thing? I think that's a different ballgame, because you've got to have game changers. You've got to have those types of players. So when you look at this group, I think it's a solid group. I don't think it's anything special. I don't think, I mean, you're not going to say, oh, this player, that player. They've got a solid team. They got here. I think they did a nice job with what they have. To blame a coach, I would say the mistake was against the U.S. I don't know why he had Valparo and all those guys, the guys that should have played, Iracunde, some of those guys should have played. I think that was maybe a mistake, overthought it. He thought, let me wait in halftime. I never understood, and maybe you can tell me, the philosophy of a coach says, well, if we can get to the second half, then we can put these players in. You may not get to a second half, being down 2-0. So I think that was one big mistake for me. I think the second half team that came in could have given the United States a little bit more of a game. And then today, the goalkeeper change really throws me off, because, like, again, for me, if I'm going to take a PK and I see a guy come in that's 6'8", 6'9", a goalkeeper, now I'm like, oh, Lord. But when you put in the same guy, now I know he's not fresh. I mean, he's fresh, but he's not really warmed up. He's not into the game. That threw me. So I think maybe 2 judgment calls, when we overthink it as a coach, that might have thrown the Aussies off a little bit.
It's only the 3rd time, by the way, that in a FIFA match, a goalkeeper has been subbed on in the second period of extra time. The first is the famous one in 2014 when the Dutch did it, bringing Tim Krul on for Jesper Cillessen. And then actually Australia did this in the 2022 Interconfederation playoffs. They actually took off Matty Ryan, the player that came on today, for their reserve goalkeeper, who then actually made the saves in the shootout to get them to the World Cup in 2022. So it's not something you see very often, and didn't really work today for Australia. Now let's talk a bit about Egypt. Let's get to their SofaScore ratings from their performance today in this match to get through into the last 16. And you see Marmoush off that left side. That's probably the one thing that does get blanketed over, is the fact that he missed that chance so quickly into the start of the second half. But Hani, who had the own goal go against him, as among the lower ratings in the team for Egypt. But you see a couple more positive ones in midfield, guys.
Yeah, I think this tells you what the game was and why it was so close in the end, because you need to have performances from Marmoush, right? He's a leader in the team. He's a big player. He went for a lot of money. He's got a lot of talent. So I think he probably gets that low score because of the couple chances that he missed that should have been goals. And moving forward, they're going to need good performances from Marmoush and Salah and all those guys. Zico as well. I thought he was quiet in the game. The one positive is Atia. I thought he was great. I thought he had a big engine. I thought he was line to line, end to end. He was very good. And Hani, I mean, I don't even think Hani had a bad game. You should have to explain to him which goal that he's going for, because this is the second time now he's scored an own goal in the tournament. So a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, he couldn't see the ball in the last seconds, but I thought it was enough to get the job done, but it won't be enough in the next round against Argentina. That is for sure. Those numbers are going to all have to be 8 and above.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think that when you look at this, Marmoush, if he finishes at 2-0, the game's over, right?
Takes the sting out of the game.
Yeah, it takes a sting out of the game. He comes right in. He puts it 2-1, it would have been. So, listen, they have a good team. Are they going to give Argentina or Cape Verde? I'm not going to say it. They're going to give whoever they play, they're going to give a good game to. So I think for Argentina, it's been building. It's been building. I think a great opponent would be Egypt for them. The way they play, it'd be fun to see Messi and Mo Salah go at it, you know what I mean? But listen, anytime you get into a World Cup, again, you need stars to show up. You need the game changers to show up. And Marmoush could have been that player today. I think Mo Salah showed a little bit of what he can do. but you can't make mistakes in the next round. Next round, you get through this one and you made a few mistakes, you got away with it. You won't get away with it with an Argentina. You won't get away with it with a France or a Spain or maybe even a Portugal. You know what I mean? So I think overall, you look at the scores and they're great. But at the end of the day, give me a 5 and we win. I don't care.
And the goal for Egypt now is to give, presumably, we are presuming that Argentina will get through ahead of Cabo Verde, but Cabo Verde have pulled off any number of shocks in this tournament so far just to even get here. But if it is to be Argentina in the next round, we saw them put together a pretty good game plan against Belgium. Argentina is a level above Belgium. What does some kind of game plan for them to advance look like from an Egyptian point of view?
Egypt against
Argentina.
Oh, so we're just taking Cabo Verde out of this.
For the sake of this conversation, yes.
Okay. For me, there was too many phases of play where they're not organized. There was a lot of space between the lines. So the defensive line, the midfield line, and the attacking line. And if Australia can play between the lines against you, which they did in the second half at times, it was a very even game. Then Argentina are going to eat you alive in between the lines. So they're going to have to find where they're going to pick up the line of pressure, and the team has to be more compact. There should probably only be 40, 50 yards, maybe 35, 40 yards between the back line and the front line. And whenever they move, they have to move together. It was too many times they were moving like an accordion, and there was like huge spaces to play into. Messi will live in those spaces, and he will kill you in those spaces, and so will Alvarez, and so will Lautaro Martinez, and all these highly talented players that are quick and strong, and they won't make the mistakes that Australia made and that the previous opponents made. They will kill you, and that's why those are the favorites in the tournament, right? They're not aliens. They're not doing stuff that you don't know. They just are so efficient and so consistent with what they do. So Egypt, we're going to have compact lines, hit on the counter, and by God, they have to take chances in both boxes. Marmouche can't miss chances. You may get 1 or 2 good ones. You have to score them to have even a chance, and that just puts you in the conversation.
Yeah, you can't. You have to be patient when you're playing against Argentina, because Argentina will put 10, 15, 20 passes together from one side to the other side until they find that spot where they can find Messi. So disciplined, constantly moving your feet as a defender, always moving your lines. So, and you're going to have to be okay not having the ball for a little bit. You know what I mean? And I don't know if Egypt doesn't like that. They like to have the ball. So in order to have a chance, you've got to be solid. Either you're going to find that low block or that mid block. In between that two, I don't see Argentina playing a lot of long balls unless Julian plays. I don't see a lot of balls over the top. I see Martinez dropping back in. So I think when you look at Egypt, they're going to have to be very defensive-minded first, and then when they win it, then they can move their lines, and they hit them on a counterattack.
Argentina do have to get by Cabo Verde first, but Egypt are into the last 16. It'll be in Atlanta in a few days' time. They get ahead of Australia on a penalty shootout. We'll have much more on the World Cup on the Golazo Network. Stay with us here on Matchday.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
We start build-up towards the round of 32 match between Argentina and Cabo Verde from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. We'll get now to our betting preview of this one, starting first with our gambling expert, John Buckets-Eimer, who filed these bets before kickoff.
3 best bets for everyone on this Argentina versus Cape Verde match. And this is a very tricky one, not to pick the winner. I know we're all going to say Argentina win this game, but to find value, because this Cabo Verde side have kind of broken how a lot of people are betting. The fact that they drew in their opener against Spain, drew against Uruguay, drew against Saudi Arabia, people are having a hard time finding value. So hopefully I can help us do just that. Bet number 1, Messi to score is currently minus 250. No value in that. But how about Messi to score from outside of the box? Plus 300, 3-1. And all you really need at this point is for him to set up a free kick. This Cabo Verde side, they're going to have to foul to slow down the side. And I expect Argentina to get plenty of free kicks. Messi probably gets one from outside the box. I just think that's a fun, different way to play a traditional goal scorer. Bet number 2, Argentina to score in the first 30 minutes of the match, plus 100. So you need it almost before the hydration break or right after here. But I understand that Cape Verde are going to sit back. They're going to park the bus. They're going to fill up the box and try to defend. I just don't think that matters against Argentina right now. I know it worked against Spain. I know it worked against some of these other teams. But this is Messi. This is Argentina. This is a whole different monster you have to deal with. Argentina, I think, break them down very quickly. And then bet number 3, a little bit of credit to Cape Verde here. I got to go with both teams to score at plus 220 now, almost 2.5 to 1 odds here. At this point, if you're Cape Verde, the fact that you've made it here is an accomplishment in itself. The fact that you're playing Argentina, that's a big deal. If you could get a single goal, I don't care if you lose this 6-1, one goal, that is life-changing for these players to score against Messi in the squad. There's a reason it's plus 220, but I'm going to take a stab at that for my third bet. Best of luck, everyone. Remember to bet responsibly.
Much appreciated, Buckets, and some interesting choices there, particularly scoring in the first 30 minutes. That seems like a fantastic bet at even odds to get a goal in the first 30 minutes. Now, us here, we have to put our bets in as well for each and every edition of Matchday. These are our standings. Marcelo Balboa, I think Marcelo Balboa is going to get to the end as the leader of the table here after that. It's that one Japan-Netherlands game, man. It's going to be amazing. Grella, you have to find your way off the bottom of the table. I'm currently in second. I need to start taking some hacks here, start swinging for some home runs to try and get above Marcelo, but well done to him. Let's get now to our bets today, and the task that we were given is over-under bets, either in the first half, in the full 90 minutes. So, Grella, you're going to go first. What are you expecting from this one?
I think I have the over for the entire match, over 3.5. I went for more goals to get the odds juiced a little bit at plus 165, because you see where I am on the table. I'm in last place, so I need something to happen. I think the Cabo Verde story is awesome. I think they frustrated a lot of teams, frustrated Spain as well. I don't see it against Argentina in a knockout match where they're going to be getting the ball into Messi, where Argentina are pretty fresh at the moment. And I think even if it gets 1 or 2 and they make changes, Argentina has so many good guys to come off the bench that have to prove something. And I can see the wheels finally coming off for Cabo Verde, and that's why I have plus 3.5. I think it could be Argentina 4, maybe 5 in this one.
Marcelo, are you as confident?
Wow. No, you know, I haven't seen a game like that yet in this knockout phase where it's opened up, where they can pick them apart. I think Cabo Verde, with all respect, what they've done has been fantastic. But I don't see this being blown out. That's why, as you can see, I went overall for the whole match. I went 2.5 goals. So I figured 2-1, could be 3-0. But I see this being a tight game. I don't see them moving from that low block. And I see Cabo Verde hitting counterattacks like crazy. And Argentina is not the fastest team in the back. So I think this could be a tricky one for Argentina, especially if they don't come in with the right mindset. It could be tricky, but we are talking about the best player in the world. So I think they will break them down, but I think it'll be a difficult game.
You've gone a bit more conservative at -165 compared to Grella's over 3.5. So you've gone over 2.5. Now, Buckets did also foul a bet on this prompt as well, and he's gone for over 1.5 goals in the first half. He mentioned there the goal to be scored in the first 30 minutes of the game. So Buckets is going for a goal in the first half of the game. I have actually decided to go against Buckets because I'm not exactly smart going against our gambling expert. I've gone for the under in the first half. I can see for everything that you're talking about in terms of the way that Cabo Verde, this is sort of the end of the Cinderella story. I can see them for one half of football maybe hanging on. It's going to be a really hot and humid night. I saw some really dark clouds over the stadium as well. You wonder if a lightning delay might get involved here at some point. But I do think that this is going to be a game that's going to prove to be difficult in the conditions for Argentina to come out of the gates firing. I think eventually they will overwhelm them, but maybe not in the first half. So I've gone for the under. Let us know your bets in the comment section. We've been flashing your comments on the screen here on the Golazo Network, so please do on the CBS Sports Golazo YouTube channel. Send your comments with your bets and anything else you have on this one. We'll continue build up to Argentina and Cabo Verde on the other side with starting lineups. That's next.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Miami Gardens is the venue for Argentina and Cabo Verde this evening in the World Cup round of 32. And this is the team. Marcelo Balboa, 10 changes from the last game of the group against Jordan, but this is basically the A team for La Albiceleste.
Yeah, when you're looking at Argentina, they gave a lot of players a rest. So you go back to what we're used to: Medina on the outsides, Romero in the middle. Otamendi could be a guy, if they're winning, that we could see come in later on. McAllister holding down the midfield with MLS boy DePaul in the Miami, Fernando Fernandez. The tricky part is you'll see Messi on the right, but he'll come into the left. Martinez is the hold-up player, and Almada tucks in a little bit too. But when you look at this team, it's the best I think they can put out there right now. When you do look at possibilities on that bench, you've got Simeone, you've got Nico Paz, who I think we could see, Julian Alvarez, so Paredes. So this is, listen, this is the A team, but when you look at that bench, you slip right in, you can upgrade their talent too.
Grella, when we were in the commercial break, you were asking Marcelo about Thiago Almada on that left side. Has he convinced you enough in that position? This is essentially the Di Maria replacement for this World Cup.
Yeah, I think Almada, everyone knows he's a talented player and he's a great player, but I just I don't see it consistently enough. I don't know.
No, 100%.
Whether it's through injury or whether he just doesn't play or whether he's out of position or what, but obviously he's talented enough to play in the team. So he's going to be a handful on the night, but I think just the game plan is that these guys are all going to work so hard on both sides of the ball for that guy there. And that's just been what it is. And I know we have so many metrics that we talk about all the time in football and tacticals and all these things that we go crazy about, heat maps and everything. And it's actually that simple with this group. This group is like putting all their individual awards and all their individual things aside and saying, we owe it to that guy and we owe it to the country. And somehow, because I overlooked this team at the beginning of the tournament. I didn't have them in the top three, really. But this team, when you watch them play, they got some pop to them. And they're dogs, man. Dogs all over the field.
Especially if you look at the triangles, partnerships. Messi, DePaul down the right-hand side because they play together.
Dogs.
Almada, Fernandez behind him so he can help him recover. So when you look at this in the triangles and any way you want to look partnerships, this is a very strong team.
Someone compared them to a club team. I think it's sort of apt that this is a team that plays well together as a collective. Let's move then to Cabo Verde, who actually make a fair few changes from their last match against Saudi Arabia. The changes in the fullback areas as well. What do you make of the team, Grella?
When you see 4-1-4-1, it's usually defensive is what it is, because these guys will collapse. It'll look like a 4-5-1 at times as well. There's three guys that have played the most minutes for them. Guess who they are defensively right here, this triangle right here. Lopez, Dini, Vozinha. They have played every single minute of every single game. Most important for them defensively, what they want to do. On the left, Lopez Cabral, obviously Benfica player. So we're talking about, we talk about Cabo Verde. We say, oh, we're not sure. Maybe then Benfica player. Very good, obviously historic club, very good club. Morera, Columbus Crew player. He very good for them as well. The goal came from Pina, one of their only goals, and Varela, who's on the bench, and he'll be someone that they'll be looking to bring on. The Duarte combination in there, they are so key, their relationship to Pina in this game, if they can sort of, when they have the football, go forward and sort of ask questions of Argentina, because if they stay close and they stay in this triangle, it's going to be a long night for them. They'll be on top of each other the entire time, just under fire. And then Da Costa hasn't got his goal yet, but he'll be on the shoulder. He'll be looking to make anything stick so that they can get some air and not get suffocated for the whole game. So, he's going to have to draw fouls, maybe slow the game down, just get something for the boys, because they're going to be under it for majority of this game.
And it is worth stressing coming into this one just how big of a gap there is between these two nations. Obviously, never mind the stars on the crest, never mind the fact that Cabo Verde are at their first ever World Cup. This would actually be, by the numbers, the biggest upset in the history of the tournament, including the group stage, if this came off. This is obviously the history between these two nations. Argentina are playing, let's do some quick math here, their 82nd game at the World Cup. Cabo Verde are playing their fourth. You compare the number of goals and knockout matches. Argentina are the reigning champions of this competition. Cabo Verde are entrants. How would you approach this game as the sort of upstart going into a game against Argentina in the knockout stages of the World Cup, trying to survive, trying to get to 15, 30 minutes into the game, still with a chance, Marcelo?
Listen, I think tactically, defensively, you've got to be strong and you've got to be solid. Listen, the longer this game goes on, the more frustrated Argentina is going to get. So that means they're going to start sending, it's weird to say Argentina is going to get frustrated, but the longer you go in a game, the more frustrated you're going to get. So I think for this group, listen, you've got to be defensively solid. You've got to have that 4-5-1 line. And you've got to play to the strengths of your players. And this team defends well, and they have been. The goalkeeper's been great. And then you try to hit them on a counterattack. You try to go for a set piece. If they open up and they want to go toe for toe, I think this could be a bigger game than we would think it would be. But I have yet to see Cabo Verde open themselves up. So if I'm looking at this group, I'm looking at when we do get it, let's try to play. Let's try to play and keep the ball for a while, because the quicker you give it back to them, the more you're going to have to defend. And defending for 90 minutes is very difficult against Argentina.
I think you need to have, it's okay to defend. Some of the greatest teams in history defend. You know, everyone says defense wins championships. That's the most important part of the game. It really is, whether you like it or not. But you have to have a counter punch. You have to be able to go the other way, because if you don't, and you just kick it up the field and they get it again, you will be under fire for the majority of the game. And it's difficult to run and shift and move, especially when it's hot, especially in big moments, right? They've never played a knockout match, especially when your nerves are there a little bit. It zaps your energy. If you don't have the football for large periods, it zaps you. So two things. You either have to hit on really good risk-reward counterattacks, or you have to be able to keep the ball for little periods in the game and frustrate them. But if you just have the plan of just defending for 90 minutes, you could scrap it. I'm going to hit my bet. I'm going to hit my 4-0 bet if they're going to defend the whole time.
Yeah, and if you look at over the course of the tournament, this is an incredible story. The fact they went into the group with Uruguay and with Spain and managed to survive, get out of the group. Obviously, this is their first ever knockout round appearance and their first ever appearance in the tournament. They have actually faced 59 shots so far in the competition and only conceded twice from those shots. In the game against Saudi Arabia, it's because it was wide open. In the game against Spain, is because they kept shooting from long distance. But this is an absolutely sensational story for them to even got to this place, for them to even gotten a point at the World Cup, never mind 3 of them to advance to the knockout stage.
Yeah, listen, it's been a great story. We always have these feel-good stories, and if they can replicate what they did against Uruguay, because they had a good balance of attacking and defending, then that's the game plan I would look at for this group, because they did put Uruguay on their heels. They did score 2 goals. So when I look at that, I go back and I say, yeah, that's probably a better game plan, because they did sit back. But when they got it, they did do a few nice things moving the ball around. And I'd be honest, if you go back to the first 15 minutes, they pushed Uruguay back on their heels and put them in a low block. So you got to take your chances. I mean, you get one shot at this, right? You got to go for it.
Yeah, I think they've been pretty brave in the way that they've played, and we talk about going on the counter and stuff like that. They've never been overwhelmed in games in terms of, like, they've never been on the field and thought, okay, well, maybe we don't belong here. Hey, maybe the pace of this is too quick for us. Hey, maybe if Spain do this to us, we're going to get in trouble. Like, they've just played. They've gone and just played, and I think they're getting every really good performance from all the players. And there really hasn't been any nerves up to this point. So we'll see. First ever knockout game in their history against the reigning champions is a little bit different kettle of fish. But again, they did evidence that they could frustrate Spain, one of the favorites of the tournament. So maybe, like Marcelo says, they can do it again.
Now, we see here the 3rd smallest country by population to ever qualify. They are the smallest nation by population to ever make the knockout round. So this is history for Cabo Verde. And, of course, a friend of the network, employee of the network, Nico Cantor, has been traveling all over the country looking for the best stories around the footballing world. He's in New York City today, and he's got to watch his native Argentina. He filed this report.
Hey guys, New York City is bustling. It's a quick stop for us here before we move on to our next city tomorrow, Philadelphia, for the Paraguay against France game. But my focus for the next couple of hours is going to be in Miami, because Argentina begins their knockout stage journey against Cape Verde. Funny enough, both countries have a little bit of a history link, because over the last century there were some Cape Verde immigrants that were forced to leave their islands and found new homes in Brazil and in Argentina. But now for the football, we're still looking for Argentina's best version despite a perfect group stage. Argentina with Julian Alvarez, which is the biggest concern of all, who entered this World Cup with a knock, far from his best form with Atletico Madrid this season, and seemingly looks like it will be his last for Los Colchoneros. But for the Argentine national team, if we could see the 2022 Julian once again, it would be critical. Argentina still has a long way to go, and of course they are the heavy favorites against Cape Verde. They are massively expected to win. So many Argentines in Miami, thousands without a ticket. It will feel like a game in the Monumental. Hard Rock Stadium will be Hard Rock Stadium for the Argentines that have traveled. I've got family, I've got friends that will be going to the match. I'll be watching from far away, but always close to my heart. Our next game is Paraguay against France, and that's where we got to make quick moves. We're going to be at a watch party today with DJ Zulan, another Argentine American like myself. So looking forward to that and looking forward to the match.
Enjoy the game, Nico, your friend of mine there from New York City. And we'll be right back with much more. You can, of course, scan that QR code on your screen to watch the first episode of Coast to Coast as he travels around the country, touring our incredible football culture in the United States. Stay with us here on the Golazo Network.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Argentina and Cabo Verde moments away from kickoff at Hard Rock Stadium. Our second match of the day, our final day of the round of 32, the round of 16, will be set by the close of business this evening. And we wanted to talk a bit about the striking situation around Lionel Messi, but we have to talk first about this incredible player who actually came off the bench and scored a free kick against Jordan. Has 6 goals at this tournament so far. There is obviously but so many superlatives we have left in the known language in order to describe this player, but in the knockout round, particularly in the last World Cup in 2022, he absolutely stepped it up. What have you seen from Messi in this tournament, though, that allows him to keep going at this level?
The same, if not better.
Yeah.
I think he looks better than 4 years ago, which is why I downgraded them, because I thought, okay, Messi's much older now. And, it's impossible that he can continue doing the same things, the efficiency in front of goal, but he looks better. He looks sharp still. He looks really good. I mean, it's actually just I'm starting to think the other way now. I'm starting to say it's a real shame that we're not going to be able to watch him play. I think a lot of people taking it for granted for so many years that you'd be able to just go up, turn on the TV and watch one of the best players that's ever played the game play. And even now, we're going to get to watch him play in a World Cup and hopefully finish strong. But what a player. I mean, unbelievable. He just gives you joy when you watch him play, and he's one of the best that's ever played, if not the best that's ever played. So real pleasure to watch him.
Yeah, when you talk about players like this, they see the game before anybody else. They see the gaps before anybody else. And it's just a freak of nature. I mean, how many players that we've had like this, from Pele to Maradona, Zidane? You've had players throughout the past, but the way he sees the game, and the best thing about it is the way the players are willing to fight for him and to let him do his job. He walks, he's always scanning, looking where the next best position is. He gets it, they find him. But when you talk about a guy like this, it's infectious. His energy, his enjoyment of the game, his competitiveness of wanting to win. And like I said, when you have a guy who gets older but keeps getting better, that's a good sign, man. He's a pro. He takes care of himself. You see what he does with Miami, with MLS. But when he comes to this national team, he's always been questioned about where in that national team. Do you really wear it? Are you going to be the Spain? And I think he's proved everybody wrong, that he is Argentine, that he's always been Argentine, and that he can win the big games.
You mentioned we get to see him in this World Cup. It is worth remembering that after this World Cup, he will probably be playing somewhere in a community near you. You can go see him.
You can. And he's got some Italian blood, by the way.
Here we go. Just so you know.
All right.
And so it begins. And so it begins. All right, but let's talk about the players that are playing around him at this World Cup. At the last World Cup, it was really Julian Alvarez that led the line. We saw him have a really good tournament for Argentina and a good season as well for Atletico. Whether it's Julian or Lautaro has really been the choice. Let's compare the players. What does Julian bring to this Argentine national team?
I think he's the guy that Atletico Madrid and whoever he's playing for rely on for the spark to create the chance or create the goal, but that's like Messi's job here.
Yeah.
So he's less of one of the worker bees, and he's more of like the guy to make a chance to create something. And off the bench, I think, incredible player. Like, his career speaks for itself. The ability speaks for itself, what he's able to do. But again, we're going to compare his profile now in a little bit, and it's going to be totally different, and you'll see what I mean. But I think he's the guy you go to when you need something to happen. But they already have that guy. So that's why maybe he doesn't pair perfectly with Messi. But yeah, he's great in every category. Work rate, unbelievable on the dribble. Free kick ability is unreal. So imagine having the ability to pull him off the bench. He probably starts at every other team, So great player.
Yeah, listen, when you look at injuries, aren't great for him. I think a lot of the talk, too, about Barcelona, he wants to go here. I think that's kind of messed with his head a little bit. But, I mean, listen, he's fantastic. He's better at running at the goal than anything else. If you can face him towards a goal, he'll get in behind. He's got great pace. He's crafty with his runs, the way he moves in and out, and the work rate's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So I think he is a good pairing, because if you go back to the last World Cup, he did have 5 goals. He did make a run, it's almost 60, 70 yards against Croatia, bouncing everywhere, but he got it through, and he's running at players. So I'm hoping he gets 100% healthy, because in the next 3 or 4 games, he's going to be huge coming off the bench.
You talk about Julian as a main man for his club. His other potential partner is Lautaro Martinez, who is absolutely the main man for his club as well. What does Lautaro bring to the team?
For me, he's like a tool you have in the shed that can just do one thing. You know what I mean? And I mean this in a good way. Sorry, not in a bad way. But it's like he's really good at that thing. And what that is holding the ball up and finishing inside the box. So it's like you might not get the all-around. You're not going to get 1v1 ability. Like, he cannot go past guys. He's a little bit slow. But hold-up play, work rate, good in the box, smart, selfless. I mean, we get to watch him at Inter, obviously, and we have Serie A here. So what he's able to do for Inter and why they've been so successful in the last 4 or 5 years is because of what he does. And so that's why I think he's more of a worker bee. He's more of a, hey, let me do this role really well. You guys can use me as a wall. I'll hold the ball up. Really clever guy, too. And again, if he gets a chance inside the box, he's gonna put it away. So I think Alvarez is probably a better player than Lautaro Martinez, but Lautaro Martinez in this setup, I think, more useful for the team, in my opinion.
You know what? He's a battler. When you watch Messi running into the box, he's crashing into the box, and he's looking for a place. He's looking for angles to get in there. His work rate with Messi, I think when you watch him in the heat maps that we'll see later on, it's just interesting the way he pulls himself so Messi can come into the middle. And you see him more than I do with the Italian league, but you can see, look at this, what we're talking about. Look at Messi. He really a little bit more down the right side so he can keep it on his left side. That's what we see a lot. Alvarez is kind of all over the place. We haven't really seen him, But I thought it was interesting looking at Martinez because he pulls himself a little wider. He pulls himself a little wide. He's looking to give the 1-2 with Messi, and Messi ends up in the middle of the field. But his work rate and the way he moves and the way he understands where Messi is and where to run and where not to run, I think is what makes a great pair between him and Messi.
And also, it's hard to, I think maybe a little hard to tell, but you see like the top of the box positions there are very, very common for Lautaro Martinez. He's around the box and he's in the center of the field. Yeah, he's doing everything for the team, but also he understands spaces, like Marcelo was saying, he understands spaces so well. He understands that if he comes off the back line, he knows what that's going to do to the back line, because at Inter, he does it with Thuram, he does it with all his strike partners, where he comes into the midfield, leaves a huge gap, and sometimes he fills those gaps. So I just think it's interesting that he's hotter at the top of the box. Alvarez a little bit more spread out, a little bit more the guy, the creator himself. He can do it himself. He's more of a piece for this team that's very important.
And that's sort of a surprising thing to hear, almost, that you might think of Julian as maybe a little bit more of a complete player, but Lautaro fits right for this team. But I guess the question that we often see in international football, and frankly, it was a question that plagued Argentina for World Cup after World Cup, was the team had so much talent. What is the right talent to fit around Messi, to bring together a collective? And that seems like the question that Scaloni answered. It was Alvarez in 2022. It's Lautaro now. When you compare these players and overall the decisions of what is like to pick a team around Messi, do you think they're getting this right?
I mean, I think you can't get it wrong with these two, right? It's hard to get it wrong. But again, I do like Martinez just for what he's able to do. Like, you know exactly what he's going to do. With Alvarez, is a little bit more of a wild card, more complete player. Like, he can score all different types of goals for sure. But I think with Lautaro, you know, okay, he's going to do this today really well for us. And I think as a player, you know, it's funny. I never understood it, because as a player, I thought the best player should play. Yeah. But as a manager, or as I got older and retired from football and looked at it through a business perspective and also through the managing perspective, they pick players based on what they know is going to happen, based on trust and loyalty and all those things. So he knows that Lautaro Martinez may not have a 10, but he's definitely not going to do worse than a 7.5. Alvarez a little bit more like, it could be anything, you know, and it could be really good, and it could also be a little bit underwhelming, but you know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah, I think when you look at these two, I mean, you can't really compare, because two different types of players. I think Martinez is more of a back-to-goal kind of player, but you have to know your players, and Scaloni knows what he needs around Messi, and he got it right. He got it right in Qatar, because they won the World Cup. Now he's trying something different. Unfortunately, Julian's a little hurt. He's coming back off a knock, and Martinez has taken that role now. Now his role is going to be, can I come off the bench and can I make a big spark? Can I score goals off the bench right now? And having a Julian coming off the bench is not bad, man.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Argentina have a pretty damn good squad, and that's why they're one of the main contenders to win this World Cup. We'll have much more on the World Cup on the way. Stay with us here on the Golazo Matchday. This is what it looks like in South Florida in the build-up to this one. This is somewhere in a neighborhood, not even near the stadium in South Florida. No surprise that the Argentines are out in full force in the build-up to this World Cup knockout round match.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back to the Golazo Network. The England against Mexico round of 16 match, the heavily anticipated match, may end up be getting a major schedule change, with kickoff potentially moving 6 hours earlier because of threatening weather in the Mexican capital, according to multiple reports. The match is currently set for 8 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday at Estadio Azteca, but the game could now start at 2 p.m. Eastern. FIFA have yet to officially announce any time change. Is this a level of uncertainty that you wouldn't want as a player going into a game, guys? Because there's sort of now conflicting reports about whether or not this game is going to be moved. It's played in 2 days. How would this affect the mindset at all?
I don't know what you think.
Listen, if the player, you have a set time, you have a routine, and everybody has that. But, you have to adapt. You have to learn to adapt. So as long as it's played that day, a few hours forward, a few hours backwards, I don't feel that it would interrupt our routine, because you played midday games. Now you're playing 9 o'clock games. So it's not really a set 7:30 kickoff at every venue. So I don't think it would bother me. The only thing that would bother me is if you move me from a 5 o'clock game in Mexico City, been there, done that, to a noon game where it's hot, it's humid, the grass is maybe a little longer, the factories are left on with the smog, then that's a different ballgame. Because playing in Azteca at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, it is not, especially if it's 70, 80 degrees, it is not an easy place to play it.
It wouldn't matter to me at all. I just don't want to play in the heat ever again after playing the MLS. 80 degrees, 85 degrees. And I'll tell you, one time it was one of the earlier times that NYCFC just came into the league. Obviously, I played for New York Red Bull, and it was a rivalry, and they were trying to get it on TV earlier so that it could be watched in some other countries or whatever. So they moved that game that I was so excited about, they moved it into the middle of the day. The game sucked, because nobody could move. You move 10 yards, and now all of a sudden you're playing a game as a player. I don't know if you've ever had this where during the warm-up you're trying to conserve energy. Yeah. During the game you're saying, all right, I'm not going to go press that one because it's not a good moment. Maybe I'll sit in a little bit more. The game's a lot slower. I think if you think back just to this tournament, for a good example, is Germany-Paraguay game was super slow. You watched the game before that was Brazil-Japan. They played in a climate-controlled area. 95th minute, Japan was flying. Brazil was flying. It was a really nice spectacle to watch. It was a great game. Energy levels were high into the very end, and then right after that was Germany-Paraguay, and it was like, what's going on here? And I know the level is different because Japan, Brazil are two very good teams, and Germany's been struggling, but the heat kills games. So it would be a real shame, because this is a firecracker of a game. This might be the best matchup.
Grell, but hold on,
lead up.
You get 4 quarters now. You can run
get
for 20 minutes.
You get 4 quarters. That's true. But I think it doesn't help the game. The game's played at night.
Agree.
Let's see. It's 2 days away, too, right? Is it 2 days away? How many times have we seen weather reports be wrong? The wind blows a different direction. Boom,
it only benefits Mexico if they move the game up earlier.
You think? You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Now, I guess the other thing that they're trying to get ahead of is lightning in the area being a potential thing that delays the game. We've only seen that affect the game twice at this tournament, I believe. We had the game in Mexico, which was delayed, and then there was the one France game, which was delayed. Having both played in MLS, what is the approach in those games where if you go into it, you know, having a game where you know it's going to play at that time and no delays and all that versus having to sit around in a locker room for an hour and a half, 2 hours waiting for a game to kick back off again?
You can't control the climate. So you set the time, but whatever happens, happens. The hard part is when you warm up, you play 10, 15 minutes, and then there's a lightning delay. Now you're waiting a half hour, an hour. You got to re-warm up, and then all of a sudden lightning comes again. So the stop and start is what hurts people. What stops and starts are where injuries happen. So, but I'm not gonna sit here and guess what the weather's going to be in 2 days and say, okay, we're going to move it forward just in case. If it comes, it comes. This is part of our sport, having an outdoor stadium in Azteca, and it's part of nature.
Woody, when you came here today. What time did you come in today?
I got in at 1:30.
Do you always like working at 1:30? Is that your favorite time or no?
I don't particularly care.
It doesn't. It's your job, right?
That's my job. I show up and do it.
Same thing with footballers, right?
Yeah.
I never thought about the climate or the weather or the game or it is what it is. We're going to go in for the change rooms for an hour and wait for the lightning to pass. So it is what it is. I mean, you're just there. You just get the job done. You try to prepare as best you can.
Yep.
You try to be fresh when you come out, whatever that means to you. So every player is different. Some guys need a 15, 20-minute warm-up. Some guys don't. Some guys just want to go and juggle the ball and get on with it. So it's at the end of the day, you do what it is. And as a footballer, you trust me, you can't get picky. You just want to go play, and it is what it is.
And the Mexican national team manager has actually weighed on this, Javier Aguirre, from an interview on local radio, saying it's a kick in the stomach. This changes everything. They informed me about it here at the interview. I don't agree. FIFA calls the shots, and we have to swallow garlic and water. Now we have to change our plans. Nobody consulted me. Neither I nor my players like this change. I'm pissed off, was his quote as a result of this. And I think both federations are probably going to have their say with FIFA, but obviously they're worried about the lightning in the area. But the manager displeased.
Surprising, because when you first hear about the game being moved forward, you think, well, the Mexicans will be more, ready for the heat, ready to play in the heat, the altitude, all those things. But then when you read this, you're like, wait, he doesn't want to play. He'd rather play at the original time at night when it's a little bit colder. And I think the reason is they want to put England in a really fast game at altitude. And I think with the heat, he's worried that he's not going to be able to. And also the drier pitch slows the ball down. So he's not going to be able to make the game as fast. He wants the game to be so fast. He wants the English players to be like, whoa, what's going on here at altitude? Like they feel like they're under the whole time. And I think he feels that they got a better opportunity to have that kind of game that he envisions when it's a little bit cooler out. And also just the night games are just better.
Yep.
Atmospheric as well. I mean, the atmosphere for a 6 o'clock game is going to be absolutely
crazy. You play a game at night, it's like there's something different about
it. It's beautiful. The England players have come out and said they're not really particularly bothered. Marcus Rashford and Morgan Rogers have both come out and said things to that effect. But we are tracking the progress of this news and see what happens with the kickoff of Mexico and England on Sunday. It promises to be one of the games of the tournament. We'll have much more on the World Cup on the way.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and return.